What's up, team? Tesla had a really good day today, up 2.44%. We talked about in yesterday's video the $480 million worth of unusual options activity that came through. And if you followed any of those call outs or followed big money, you made a hefty profit today. But what we're going to do in this video is go over if there was any flow for the day. We're going to look at the heat map like we did yesterday, but I want to spend a little more time today talking to you guys about the current setup on the 1 hour and the bigger time frames such as the daily, looking like we will probably see that move still back to 260 as we've been talking about recently. And we'll also go if I still think the $212 level will ultimately be taken out. Before we get into it though, I truly want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for all the support that you give me. The video yesterday that I put out was just a really raw, authentic video where I didn't edit, I didn't plan anything, and it seemed to resonate very well with you guys. We live in unfortunately, a society nowadays where there's very little connection and there's very little authenticity because as humans, we allow ourselves to paint an image or a picture of who we want to be. And so my goal here is to help you guys become better traders, obviously, to help you guys make more money, but more importantly, to give you guys a place to be yourselves and to give you guys a place to, in a very crazy world, have a beacon of safety and a beacon of hope to know that there are like-minded individuals out there each and every single day trading alongside of you. So if you guys want to be part of the Discord, it's completely free. The link's in the description. People are hanging out talking about dinner right now since the market's closed, but there's over 12,000 members in the community. You guys get access to free courses, free live streams, free seminars, free webinars. And if you guys do want to pay and get access to all of my trades, all the mods trades, our live streams, and all of our bots, that is free the first month. And our goal is just to prove to you guys that we're legit before you invest your energy into us. So this is going to be a 1 hour chart. And the first thing that we're going to look at is going to be what has happened over the past couple of days. So this is going to be Monday, September 23rd, and you're going to see that we had a big money block sitting here, a big order block between 240 and 236. And 240 we know is a very strong support. And if I allow this to play out, you'll see that we continue to move our way down into that order block, and boom, that order block got taken out. Now from there, we sold off on Wednesday, which was yesterday, all the way down to 234. And it was between this level, basically, over here. I'm not going to keep it red, but I'll change the background for you guys really quick. But basically, it's between this level that we ended up seeing all those calls come through, driving the stock right back up. Now, something you'll also see is a fair value gap. And so what this fair value gap is showing you guys, and I can do a video, standalone video talking about it if you want in the future, but what that's showing you is that there's a pretty high chance that, yeah, we're still in this downtrend here, but there's a very good chance that we're going to go back and retest this level of $240. So as we saw the stock selling off, we saw these coming through. This could have been a good indication to potentially go long, even though I wasn't, honestly really a fan of the fact of Tesla breaking 240. But from there, we're going to allow this to continue to pan itself out. We push right back up and fill those two fair value gaps as expected. I didn't play this though. Come back and fill that gap, continue to move, and then today, boom, another push back up. This is 11:30 in the morning. And as of 11:30 in the morning, we had two fair value gaps down here, and we were pushing into this resistance level. So from here, we kind of just held sideways. Looking at all of this information, we also have a potential inverted head and shoulders. This is essentially, we're making these lower lows. The stock will move its way back up to not a lower high, but actually a fixed point. And this is very important. We'll come back down and make a lower low, which shows, hey, still bearish, still have some steam. But instead of pulling back here and making a lower high, we actually come all the way back up and we test this level. And this level, I'm sorry for all these green lines, but this level here is your neckline, which is a very important level. And so from here, what ends up happening is most of the time we will reject one more time and pull back down to where we would meet the prior left shoulder, bounce, and then move our way up to $260, which is looking like October 6th. So at this moment, I do not currently have a position in Tesla. The one thing to notice is, as we did talk about these fair value areas, there's another fair value gap back up there, which I do think will ultimately fill. So Tomorrow into Monday, what we're really going to be watching for is the break and taking out of this level of 250, which will take this order block out. And from there, we'll move our way probably very quick back up to $260. And if that doesn't occur, then what I think will happen is we'll reject, pull back, and test 240 before ultimately taking out $260. But I do believe that $260 will eventually get taken out. I do actually think that that will occur. Now, if we move on over to the daily chart and we zoom out here, you're going to see these order block levels, but something else I'm going to want to do is go into my indicators, and I want to take my fixed range volume profile, and I'm going to take that, and we're going to look at the past year, and we're going to take our volume profile from the left and drag it all the way out right so that we can see now from a volume standpoint at what institutional levels are looking at. And we also, on top of this, have the order block. So using this on top of whatever patterns you're running or whatever it is, this is how you trade in a very, very efficient way, because we're not just looking at moving averages. We're watching where big levels are. We're trading with big institutional investors. And on top of that, we're making really, really good risk versus reward when we're taking our positions after confirmation. And so I would rather be trading with big money than against them, because I don't want to go up against hedge funds every day and hope that I am going to be better than them, because unfortunately, I probably won't. This is also why we incorporate flow, which we'll talk about in a little bit when we get to the black box stock section. But using softwares like this that show you flow will also give you guys real-time data as to what big money is actually buying and selling. Looking here at the daily chart, you're going to see, first of all, that we have this fair value level all the way back down here at 231, all the way down to 216. So we do still have a fair value gap in play back here. We also have a big order block resistance and another order block resistance all the way up at about $290. But if we zoom out now and we look more so not at this, the order blocks, which I can go ahead and get rid of the smart money concepts really quickly, but we just take a look at the volume. All of the volume is sitting basically from 280 down to 240. And then from down here at about 200, as we normally state, down to about $160. So if you're somebody who watches the show every day, you probably already know this, since we talk about the same very important principles, but we reinstate them every single day. But you'll probably know that we're waiting for this break of 240 so that we can ultimately play the subsequent move down to 200 again, or $212. But on this bigger time frame, there is another potential setup that is occurring. We talked about that inverted head and shoulders on the 1 hour, but if we actually look right now on the daily, and I'll go through and actually pop the smart money concepts back up, you're going to notice on the daily, we also have a potential head and shoulders using 240 as our neckline, left shoulder, head, ultimately right shoulder. And now I did have a question today within the private group today, asking me in the Discord that if this shoulder comes up and it doesn't perfectly match this shoulder, is the head and shoulders dead? No. I mean, technically, if we came all the way up here, would it be janky and would it not look like a perfect head and shoulders? Of course not. But the point of the head and shoulders is more of the psychological aspect that we're no longer making highs and that we're starting to show indecision and weakness, which is exactly what we want. So that's very, very important. And if we zoom in on a 4-hour chart, you will see this head and shoulders potential happening even better. The other thing that you'll notice too is that we actually have sitting here an order block that we bounce off of, and I do believe that we will fill these two fair value gaps and ultimately get the move back up to 270 before rejecting. Now, the S&P 500 had a really, really good day today as well. If you're somebody who was following us for the past couple of weeks talking about the S&P 500, you know that we have been watching this support level at 430, but more so, we've been keeping a very, very tight eye on this trend line to see if we were going to get our bounce. And we actually did end up getting a very, very strong bounce today. And the reason that we're really watching this is not only is it a very strong trend line, but as you can see highlighted here, it is a very small area on the volume profile. So if this were to break, the next level we will most likely go is back down to $410. And so ultimately, I do believe that we will see the market make another move, probably 5% down in the next couple of months. But I do think that in the short term, we could see the S&P 500 run back up to 435/440 and see Tesla move its way back up to maybe 260 or 270. And ultimately, I really hope I'm wrong. As I state a lot, I'm a long-term investor through and through, and I really hope that at the end of the day, we push back up to all-time highs because I own 400 shares of Tesla, and I'm very, very happy and very bullish with it, and I would rather not have to put hedges in place. And briefly talking about hedging, today on my Twitter, which the link is in the description, I actually dropped the PDF and the outline for the basics of hedging live stream and video series that I'm going to be putting out here on YouTube. This goes over how to sell covered calls, how to do them correctly, how to use proper risk management, how to delta hedge, what is delta, and literally the best part is it breaks it down in the simplest format possible so that you can actually read it and digest it, because just putting a bunch of fancy long words and quote finance language inside of books will do nothing for you. So I do plan to post a video and a live stream on that. I think this could be really, really good for a lot of you guys who are long-term investors in Tesla, but you're trying to figure out how you can stop some of the hurting short-term while the market's selling off. Yesterday, I said that $480 million was a lot. Well, I wasn't lying. Today was a really good day, and Tesla only had $148 million worth of confirmed flow. So yesterday was nearly 3 times this. And that, even today is still a really, really solid day. Saw some small Amazon calls come through, which I did actually call out on my Twitter, which was insane. It was like 140% return. And I even did an entire video talking about exactly what we did. So you should go check that out. That's our second channel called Traders Helping Traders Community, where we cover a lot more than just Tesla. But over there, I recap a lot of my trades. That was a really, really solid trade. We did see some Microsoft come through today as well, but they were for day trades, nothing too crazy. And Abbott, which is ABT, which I'll probably do a standalone video because on my other channel, because I don't think many people here probably care about that. Overall though, guys, we'll see how the rest of this week pans out. Tomorrow is obviously going to be the last day. So Friday is the last day of the month, unless we were trading Monday. It's Monday the 31st now. So tomorrow is going to be the last day of the month, guys. I hope you had a good September. Historically, September is not a great month for the market. If you're here in the beginning of the month, you probably remember watching the video. But we're going to go through. I'll see you guys later on this week. And this weekend, I'm going to be doing a weekly and a monthly update on Tesla, on the S&P 500. I might even live stream it and probably do a seasonality chart as well. So thank you guys for all the support. Check out all of our Discord community and all the free stuff in the description. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.